Okay, welcome everybody. This just really delights me that so many of you are interested in showing up and hearing what we're going to chat about today. Um, by the way, this is a cool mix of folks because some of you are here to learn more, and then some of you are actually some of my past clients with EOS, and then some of you are some of the folks who've already signed up for our next group that we're doing with the Build Smart system. So I'm going to share my screen and kind of walk you guys through some things here. So let me pull up my screen and away we go. All right. So first, you guys remember, like, in college when you show up to your class on the first day of class and the professor would be like, is everybody in the right room? And there'd always be like a few people that get up and walk out. So this is my "is everybody in the right room" pitch, because I don't want there to be any misunderstanding that you guys are actually here to hear a sales pitch today. So what we're going to do today is I'm going to describe some of the challenges that exist in the entrepreneurial journey. And then I'm going to talk about why I created the Build Smart system and how this addresses those challenges to see if this is right for you. And then, like I said, I don't want anybody to be surprised at the end. When we get to the end here, I'm going to propose to see if this program is right for you, and you'll decide if you want to sign up for our next group, which starts very soon. So with that, the reason it's called the Build Smart system, by the way, is SMART. I love acronyms. And so SMART in this case stands for self-managing and responsible team. Because this was my dream when I really started as an entrepreneur. As I said, I really want a self-managing team, so that I could get to the place where I'm truly a business owner and not just a business operator. But in order to do that, I needed a self-managing team. This is one of my favorite quotes by Michael Gerber, who wrote the book E-Myth Revisited. In that book, he says, if your business depends on you, you don't own a business, you have a job, and it's the worst job in the world because you're working for a lunatic. So, if any of you can relate to that, chime in the chat. I certainly related to that for a long time, and there are still days where I certainly relate to that. And I love this book, E-Myth Revisited. And the whole premise of the book is that he drives you to be a business owner, not just business operator. But the problem is I felt like the book left me short. I didn't know how to do that. And so I want to do that, but I didn't really know how. So this is my question for you guys. Are any of you working for a lunatic? So here were the signs that I knew I was working for a lunatic, and signs you might be working for a lunatic is where, like, you get to the end of every day and you think, man, I was really, really busy today, but what did I actually get done today? Did I actually advance my business today, or did I just spin my wheels? Signs you might work for a lunatic is when your priorities are set by whoever happens to be yelling at you the loudest and the longest, right? Instead of having the confidence to say, yeah, you can yell at me as loud as you want to, you're just not on my to-do list today. And then the biggest sign, of course, is when your business just cannot operate without you. That's a lot of chatter in our industry. People like to ask that question, right? Like, can you take off for a month, 2 months, 3 months? Could you take off all summer, and would your business keep operating without you? So put in the chat. I'd love to. I'm monitoring the chat as I go here. And then my business partner Jay is on the call with us here, also looking in. I'd love for you guys to put in the chat here. What are your biggest pain points right now when you think about this concept of working for a lunatic? So put it in there. Let's hear what you guys are struggling with. Spinning wheels. Yeah, exactly. Anybody else? Just Karen, she the only lunatic here. Don't make her feel bad. Brad Randall says, I think making sure the system, responsibility, accountability all align. Yeah, that's a big thing we talk about. One of the things I like to say is if you gave me a rowing team of like a bunch of rowers who weren't actually very good at rowing, but they all knew that they were heading in the same direction, so they at least rowed poorly in the same direction. And then you gave me a team with a bunch of rowers who were really, really good rowers, but they couldn't all agree that they were rowing in the same direction. Which team's going to win every time, right? That team that has alignment, even if they're not perfect. Yeah, accountability is a big one. Yeah, decision making. Yeah, this is good stuff here. Yeah, micromanaging is a big one. We talk a lot about that in this course. Because yeah, a lot of times when you're in this situation, you feel like you're micromanaging, not just managing by the metrics. All right. Feel free to keep chiming in there. I like seeing these and because we can all relate to these. So instead of working for a lunatic, you get to the place where you're working for a leader. And to me, what that looks like is two really good options. One is you could have a lifestyle business. You could just decide to get your business to a place where you're not really worried about growing it anymore. It's kind of self-sustaining, and you can just check in on your business 5 hours a week, something like that, and really just have a good lifestyle business to kick off the cash you need to live off that business. That's a great option for a lot of people. The other thing that you could do is exponentially increase the value of your business. This could look like exploring new verticals. This could look like finding new ways to not just grow your business linearly, but really exponentially. This is a picture of one of my daughters. She's probably 2 in this picture, maybe even 1. She's actually 13 now, so this picture was taken a long time ago. But this is what I felt like my life looked like back then. When I was kind of getting started in my own entrepreneurial journey. And what I mean by the entrepreneurial journey is what happens for most entrepreneurs is you're good at your craft, right? So we all did this because we're good at property management. And if you're good at property management, your business inevitably grows, right? You attract new clients, it starts growing. But just because I was good at my craft, I was a good property manager, didn't mean I was actually a good manager of people or a good manager of business. That's actually a separate skill than happening to be good at your craft. I was busy spinning my wheels, just like Karen said. I had no clear direction. I just knew we were doing stuff. Like I thought things were going well, but I didn't have any direction to measure if we were even going the direction we wanted to be. I thought the solution to my problems was I was just going to hire A players and that would fix my problems. And so I didn't really have good training in place. Turns out A players actually want structure and want good training. And somebody else mentioned this. You feel like you're micromanaging. That was me. I was micromanaging because I didn't have the right metrics to measure success. And then my biggest flaw was I just said yes to all business. And so, I got smarter since then. So here's what my life started to look like after I implemented some systems. I did get to the place where I was working about 4 hours per week. I simplified my business. I was managing about 475 doors, shrunk that to 175. But in doing so, I actually started making way more money managing 175 doors than 475. And so as a result, our business got to the point that 51% of our revenue went to owner discretionary earnings, basically salary, profit, and perks to me and my business partner. Only 21% of our staff expense or of our revenue went to staff expense, which is phenomenal. I mean, the typical is more like 50% of your revenue is going to staff. And so that's part of my recipe that helped make me really profitable. And then that really freed me up for me to start having fun with new businesses. So I started as an EOS implementer. And then I also started an RTM placement business. Many of you on the call here actually are RTM clients as well. And my wife and I created a bucket list that we want to hike all the national parks. We're actually getting ready to go next month down to the U.S. Virgin Islands to St. John. That'll be the next national park we do. And then we're trying to figure out where we want to go this summer to do another national park. So from there, I kind of had a lifestyle business, but now I wanted the exponential growth. That's when we started Home Vault with these business partners you see here, and started doing some cool things on the property management side. As I mentioned, I started working as an EOS implementer. Some of you guys who are on this call right now, JJ's on this call. He sees his logo up here. He was one of my EOS clients, and I really, really enjoyed being an EOS implementer. I hired an implementer to implement EOS into my property management business, and I kind of watched what he was doing, and I said, I'm a very strategic thinker, futuristic thinker. I love learning and teaching, and I said that looks really fun for me, and so I figured out what I needed to do to become an EOS implementer and started doing that. These were some of my clients that I worked with over that time period. But as I worked as an EOS implementer, I began to start to see some of the limitations. I felt like it didn't offer everything that the property management industry needed. Yeah, thank you. Somebody's asking what is EOS. Yeah, EOS stands for Entrepreneurial Operating System. And some of you may have heard of the book Traction by Gino Wickman. And it's a great book, great system. The problem as an EOS implementer for me is that in order to do EOS implementations, you could only do it in a quote unquote pure way, right? You had to strictly do it their way. But I began to have other ideas of what I felt like we as a property management industry needed, that I felt like I could deliver more than just what I was able to deliver through EOS. So that's when I created the Build Smart system. These are some of my clients that either we've done Build Smart with them, or in a few cases, these are some of the folks that have already signed up for the next class. So we have a class starting March 14th. We have 6 people already enrolled in that class, and some of you may see your names here. I think Josh is on the call today. I threw his logo up here, and some others. Sorry, feel free to interrupt if anybody has any questions, by the way. So yeah, chime in anytime. So anyway, so these are some of the companies we've been working with. So what does that mean? How do I do the Build Smart system? I do it in one of 2 ways. One is I do a one-on-one implementation with my clients. So one of the clients you just saw up there actually just came back yesterday from Atlanta doing implementation. And in that case, I meet one-on-one with the entire leadership team of that company. And we spend a total of about 24 hours together over the period of 3 months, really doing all of the things we need to do to get this system fully implemented with that team. But the other way that, so as I was doing that, and because that's all I did for a long time was the one-on-one implementations. And the one-on-one implementations basically cost around $12,000 plus travel if I end up traveling to your company. But what I found in doing the one-on-one implementations was, it was a certain target client that I was reaching that was relatively mature and at a certain place in their business where that's exactly what they wanted at that time, was that one-on-one, and they were able to write that $12,000 check, and that was exactly what they wanted. But what I found I met with some companies that said, man, what would it look like if I could have gotten to this company 3 years earlier, when maybe they didn't want to write the $12,000 check then, but they really needed these same tools a lot earlier in their business. And so that's when we started the group program last year in 2021. And the point was to give it more of a guided implementation instead of a fully customized one-on-one implementation. So it's a 6-week program where the whole group gets together every Monday for the strategy meeting. We meet for 1 hour, and I have a certain set of material that we go over during that 1 hour on Monday. And then I give you all of the tools and resources that you need to take that information that we learned together on Monday and go implement it with your team. And so that will take about 2 to 4 hours to set aside in the middle of the week to implement those tools with your team for that week. We start an email chain and just kind of keep in touch with each other as a group throughout the week to see how are you doing, what are you stuck on, where do you need help, and we all kind of help each other throughout the week. And then we get together one more time each Friday for an accountability meeting, just to say, hey, did you implement the tools? How did it go? What did you get stuck on? Where do you need help? To make sure everybody's staying on track with the program. Now, this part is new. And for some of you here who are on this call now, who have been some of my prior clients, you may be excited to learn we're now starting a monthly continuity group. That's free for now for anybody who has gone through either EOS with me in the past or gone through our Build Smart system. And this will be just a once-a-month group meeting where we get together with the key leaders of that company to all just share, hey, how are you doing with your quarterly projects? What do your KPIs look like right now? How's your accountability charter? You're holding your team accountable the way you want to be, things like that. And so there'll be a set structure that we come up with, and that'll be starting soon. So for anybody that does this 6-week program, you'll then have access to the monthly group as well after that. But wait, there's more. Remember this guy? Anybody stay up, watch late night TV? I don't remember what he sold. What did he sell? I don't remember. But anyway, this is a funny guy. But other things that we will also include with this is, yeah, he sold everything. That's right. Billy Mays, that's who he is. That's right. But there'll be other tools that we give you to empower you as we go through the program. There'll be a member portal where you'll be able to log in and keep up with everything that we're doing. There'll be downloadable tools and resources that I'll be giving you for you to use as you implement that week's material with your team. There'll be spreadsheets and other tools to use. There'll be videos that we put up there. So just in case we go over something on Monday and maybe you missed it, or maybe you had to miss that particular week, everything will be up in there for you to get caught up on. We also have guides that you will use with your team to be able to give to them so that they can understand the material as well. And then you'll have access to me and actually for this next group, I actually have a co-leader with me, Lexi, who has been working as an EOS implementer for a number of years, also from the property management industry. And so she's going to be co-leading this with me. You'll have access to Lexi and I all throughout the week for anything that you get stuck on. So what do we go over in the 6 weeks? The very first week, what we go over is team buy-in. And this is actually a really important week where we set aside a whole week just for this, because all of you here have probably experienced this over the years where you want to make a change in your business, but you have to get the buy-in from your team in order for that change to truly be effective. And so we'll talk a lot about how is this program going to benefit the folks on your team and how to talk them through it to get them excited about it. The second week, we're going to talk about company structure. And this is one of those pieces that I specifically added that I wasn't able to do effectively just through EOS. And that is, the property management industry is very interesting because we can all structure our businesses in different ways and be successful with it. But as you're implementing these tools, it's important to pause and consider for just a moment, what is the right structure for me and my team? Do I want to be departmental? Do I want to be purely portfolio based? Do I want something hybrid? Do I want to be in pods? These are all valid solutions. And what I've found is that a lot of my clients over the years are looking to make some kind of shift. So we'll spend one whole week just evaluating those different company structures and helping each of you think through what's going to be the right structure for you. The third week is all about leveraging superpowers. This is about identifying each person's unique abilities, where their skill meets their passion, because I'm really adamant that you want everybody in your company to be spending 80% of their time where their skill meets their passion. Anytime you do that effectively, it is genuinely like pouring rocket fuel on your business. Even if that's the only thing you got out of this this class, it would really make a big difference on your business. So we spend a whole week talking about that. Then we go over MAPs, what I call most advantageous projects. These are identifying what are the smallest levers you can pull in your business to make the biggest impact. And then giving you the tools you need to get those things done on a quarterly basis. This is a really key week where we start making some real headway. The fifth week, we implement strategic meetings into your business. In particular, we're going to implement a weekly progress meeting, and we'll go through the exact structure of how to run this meeting in a super effective way. But not just the weekly progress meeting. We'll talk about reports meetings, daily huddles, one-on-ones, and what meetings are right for you and your team, especially any of you that are operating with a virtual office or with remote team members. There's a lot of really great stuff this week. And then the sixth week, we talk about what I call clear KPIs. And I have an acronym that I run through to help you guys think through what KPIs are the right KPIs for your business. I have an exhaustive list of about 100 KPIs for you to consider. But we identify what are the right KPIs, which is really important because a lot of people have KPIs, but they're not really using them effectively. So we make sure they're super effective for you and your team. And then there's two post-course things that you'll find in the member area that are also very important that we just don't go over in these 6 weeks. So the first one is leadership by company culture. And this is a whole methodology by which to determine your company's core values and mission statement. I go through how to figure those things out together, but most importantly, how to implement them with your team to make them really effective, because core values are huge and a lot of companies aren't utilizing them correctly. So we have a whole section on that. And then the last section is leadership by vision. So this is all about big, hairy, audacious goal, to put it in good to great terms, figuring out what's your long-term vision, but then how do you dial that back to then determine where do I need to be in 3 years, and then in 1 year, and then what do I need to be doing each quarter to march towards this long-term vision? Okay, so if you go through this whole course together with the group, then here are the expected results. You will have that self-managing and responsible team working within their unique abilities. You'll have confidence to focus on the right things. One of the things I always tell my clients is, I'm not here to help you figure out how to juggle all the balls. I'm actually here to help you how to figure out how to juggle the right balls and to let some of the balls fall on the floor and be comfortable with the fact that they're just going to sit on the floor. Because you can't do all the things all the time, but I'm going to put you in a position where you can sleep well at night and not be stressed out going, shoot, did I do the right things today? You'll know you did the right things today. You'll start having structured meetings to eliminate a lot of that drive-by communication. I used to have a lot of this, right? Where, when I was in an office, the team would just kind of pop into my office, ask me questions, or even if we were just using Slack or something, kind of get those constant questions all throughout the day. But we're going to have the right meetings in place so that you stop having all that drive-by communication, which allows everybody in the team to be a lot more productive and efficient. You'll start managing by metrics. Those KPIs will be really important. And then the last thing is you'll be leading with a clear vision and a plan to get there, because it turns out, followers don't want to just follow charisma. They actually want to follow a clear vision and a plan. So put in the chat, of kind of all these things and anything you've heard, what results would you be most excited to see in your business? What changes would you like to implement and have those results? Sam says manage by metrics. Matt too. Yeah, manage by metrics. Everybody likes managing by metrics. Yeah, self-managing team. That one is just huge for me too, Kelly. Efficiency, competency, absolutely. Yeah, that self-managing team. That was my favorite also. Don't worry, Josh. Josh is one of the folks who is already signed up. We're going to get them all for you, Josh. Yeah, structured meetings. The structured meetings is just really kind of paramount in putting it all together. Yeah, passion and skill, Brad. That's the goal. All right, so good news. Anybody that signs up, this program in particular is targeted at business owners and key decision makers. And the good news is you can bring a +1, and actually encourage you to do that. And for some people in particular, I really encourage you to do that. So why would you bring a +1, and who should you bring? So the main question to ask yourself is, you may have heard a lot of things today that sound really exciting to you, and you're like, yeah, I really want these things. But you may be thinking to yourself, but I just don't know if I'm the right person to actually implement them in my company. And that may very well be true. And to put it in EOS terms, EOS talks a lot about visionaries and integrators. And, a lot of company owners are kind of classic visionaries where they get really excited by new ideas, but it's hard for them to stay focused on any one new idea long enough to get the whole team organized and bought into it. So if you have that one key player on your team, that they are that super organized person, that they just help get things done in your company, then that may be a great +1 for you to invite with you to do this course together. So definitely think about that. If you're thinking about signing up and want to do it the right way, then think that through. Yeah, Marlene, and it's really typical. It's one of the things I learned from the first time we did the group course is we had a few folks that kind of dropped out halfway through the course, and we realized that was why. That they wanted the results, but they weren't actually the right person within their company to have been in the course. So yeah, you're not the only one. So definitely think through that. And I guarantee almost all of you have one of those right people with you to bring with you. Sam is asking, if you are the implementer, should you also bring in a key leader? It's not as important for you, but you're welcome to do that. This is definitely important for the people that are that classic visionary, but you're still welcome to do that either way. All right, so what's next? I promised you guys this is going to be a sales pitch, and so here's the part where I ask for your money. So we are planning on getting 12 people in this course. We have 6 signed up already that we pre-sold prior to the webinar today. The first time I did this course, by the way, I sold it for $2,000. And I've always been adamant that as I learn and get better at things, I raise my prices over time. You guys probably do the same thing in the property management industry. So the retail price for this course is going to be $3,500 for anybody that signs up next week. But for any of you guys who took the time, and I'm really grateful that you're here, that you took the time to be here for this webinar. So anybody that's here at this webinar and signs up today or tomorrow, then we'll keep this price up of $29.97. That's the same price that we pre-sold it to for the folks who have signed up already. So we'll honor that price for you all as well. And we are most likely going to cap it at 12, unless we get just a lot of people signing up. Potentially we'll split it into 2 groups. And the way to go ahead and sign up if you're interested is go to homevaultacademy.com. And you just go to the shop page at the top of the page, and you'll see this product, the Build Smart product, that you'll click on and be able to check out from there. What if you don't have a good +1? Yeah, Marlene, that's a good question. So I would say partially you'd have to consider what is your commitment level to make you some change. So it could be the type of thing. Brad, yeah, that's good. We'll just get 2 of you guys together. You guys can be each other's +1. If you're that classic visionary and you don't feel like you have that right organized person on your team, I'd encourage you to think through that a little bit more. And there might still be that right person on your team that you're on the fence about. And I would say bring them. If there's somebody you're on the fence about, then that's probably the right person. Excuse me. That's probably the right person to bring. The other thing I would say is if you know that this is the right thing you need and can make a difference for you, then like one of the things that I often say on the passion skill matrix, for example, is sometimes you find people that are in a position where they just have to grit something out for a little while until they get to a new place where you can get everybody aligned where they need to be. So for some of you that are like, yeah, this is really the right thing for me, it's 6 weeks. And I would say, find a way to grit it out and get it done. And then the results will come from there. So yeah, that's kind of my answer to your question, Marlene. Can you send this video presentation or tell us where to find it? Yeah, I'm going to upload this to either YouTube or Google Drive, and I will email it out to every single person that registered for this webinar. So you guys will have a copy of this video. Oh, thank you for that question. When does the class start? So the class starts on March 14th. And like I said, the format will be, we'll meet on Monday, March 14th. You'll implement the tools that week. We'll meet again on Friday. And then that will repeat for 6 weeks in a row from there. And like I said, if there's like 1 week that you know you're gonna have to miss, or even 2 weeks you know you're gonna have to miss, it's okay. You know, the videos will be available for you to stay caught up as we go. I got the link from Lexi. Yeah, Jason, don't worry. Lexi and I chatted about you. I do have your email address, so you're good to go. And I'll get you the information as well. Any other questions any of you guys can think of? You can put it in the chat, or feel free to unmute yourselves and just chime in. Any other questions any of you have? Will training with recorded for future reference? Yes. So the way that will work is I'll actually have pre-recorded all of the training, and those will be uploaded to that member area so that you'll be able to see that. And I'm not 100% about this part, but I think I'm also going to create training videos that are specifically targeted to your staff as well. And so because some of the material may be specific for you as the business owner, but I'll also make staff training videos that you can share directly with your staff. You get lifetime access to all of the material when you sign up for the course. We won't ever disconnect you from that. Good question, Ari. And we'll probably, find, this is I'm a big believer in continuously improving everything that I do. So every time I do, literally every time I've done an EOS or Build Smart implementation, I've added new things and made it better and better every single time. So, we'll always be making it better and better. Thanks, Jason. Appreciate it. Any other questions from anybody else here? Okay, great. Well, again, I'm super honored that all of you took time out of your day today to be here. See a lot of names that I recognize, and just glad you guys are here. I will send out that email actually right as soon as this video is done uploading. I'll get that out to everybody along with a link of where you guys can sign up, and hope to see some of you in the course. Thanks, guys. Oh, yeah, Miranda asked me a question directly. For anybody that's still listening, this is actually a great question that sometimes what people say is they're like, man, I really want to implement this, but I have this other really big project that I'm working on right now that I really want to get through that project first. And in Miranda's case, she's working on some stuff with Lead Simple. And my question to that is always the same, which is it's kind of like if you were in college and you had to write a term paper, and you said, well, I really have to write this term paper, and I know you're trying to sell me a computer with internet access, but I got to get the term paper done first before I can buy your computer with internet access. It's like, okay, well, that's fine. I mean, you could go to the library and pull the books off the shelves and write your term paper with a pen and a yellow pad. You absolutely can do that. Or we could give you the Build Smart system, which is like buying a fast computer with internet access and a word processor that you can then actually use to get your term paper done at the same time. So this is not just another project to do the way getting your processes set up is another project to do. This is actually the thing to do that helps you get all of your other projects done. Yeah, good, Miranda. Okay, guys, I'll hang on just another minute in case anybody thinks of any other questions, and then I'll sign us off here.